If you're looking to make 10, 20, $30,000 in the next 30, 60 to 90 days wholesaling real estate, this video is for you because I'll be giving you the top tips that you will need to actually get started and be well on your way to your first deal. Make sure you stick through to the end because you don't want to miss out on any of this valuable information. Now let's get into it. Now the very first thing that I would do if I was starting out and trying to get my first deal is sit down and come up with a budget for the next 12 months. So if I only have $100 available out of my budget from the income that I make, that means I will have $1,200 to spend over the next 12 months to generate a deal. If I have $200, I will spend $2,400 in my business over the next 12 months. I'm pretty sure you see where I'm going here. But basically, coming up with a budget will always be beneficial because you know how many prospects that you'll be able to pull per month. You know how much money you can have for skip tracing. And guess what? If you get a deal in the next 30, 60 to 90 days and you reinvest 15 to 25% back into your business, you can increase that 100 to 200 or 300 marketing budget to maybe $1,000 or $1,500 to generate even more leads the next month. Now, when it comes down to this, do not compare yourself to bigger wholesalers because you got wholesalers out here that may be spending $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month to generate leads in their business and may have a team. But for your situation, if you're just trying to get your first deal and you have a limited marketing budget, your main focus should be getting your first deal, making $10,000, and then reinvesting that 15 to 25% that I mentioned, which would give you a $1,500 to $2,500 marketing budget, and you'll be able to generate more leads for yourself as a one-person operation. So focus in on your business. Don't let anybody else that seem to be doing better than you when it come down to wholesaling influence you to try to spend more money than you actually have. Stick to your budget. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell because that's going to help YouTube push this content out to more people. And that just shows me that you appreciate the content that I'm providing. And leave a comment down below as well too. Let me know how long it took you to get your first deal. Now let's get back into the video. So now with the second tip, I know you have a lot of people out here saying, hey, get your cell phone and dial everybody one by one, or go out, drive for dollars and build a list. Now don't get me wrong, that is not a bad way to get started in wholesaling, but I'm gonna be real with you, most of the time it's gonna take even longer to get a deal if you go that route. Now, what I recommend when it comes down to the softwares and stuff that you need, the very first software that you will need is PropStream. That's my #1 data provider. And a lot of people may be telling you to go and use this list provider or that list provider, but guess what? Data is just data. Some data might be out of date, some data may be current, and only thing you got to do over time is make sure that you're updating it. And with PropStream, they give you 10,000 records per month. And for the first 7 days, it's actually free. So they allow you to test the software out for free. So definitely feel free to check it out. And I have it linked below as well. If that's what you want to use, you can use other data providers if you want to, but that's what I use on a daily. And you can run comps inside of it as well too. So that's going to be beneficial whenever you on the phone and you trying to get that first deal locked up. So what I would do, I would take that 10,000 records. I'm going to pull a vacant list. I'm going to pull an absentee list. I'm going to pull a pre-foreclosure list, and I'm going to stack that data. I'm going to stack that data because then you have multiple levels of motivation in that one list. And those are the records that you need to get in contact with first. Now, this list may be on the smaller side. The more data that you pull, the more multiple levels of motivation you may have after you stack the data. But that's going to be the best and most efficient way to get your first deal. So now let's say that you actually have your data stacked now. Let's say you have a stack list of pre-foreclosure and vacant properties. The next thing you have to do is skip trace your list. So if you're going to skip trace, you have to use a service such as Bat Skip Tracing, REI Reply. You can even skip trace inside of PropStream as well too. My recommendation would be Bat Skip Tracing, and if you need a code to get 10 cents or 8 cents skip tracing, leave a comment down below saying Bat Skip Tracing 10 cents, and I can send the code to you. But you will need to skip trace that data so you can upload it into whatever marketing software that you're going to use in your business. So now that you have your stack data skip trace, the next thing that you need to do is market to your data. So let's say you have the pre-foreclosure vacant list that you have stacked together. You want to focus on creating a omni-channel marketing presence. So that means one week you send ringless voicemails, next week you send text messages, the next week you may send a direct mail piece, and throughout the process you're cold calling each individual seller to try and get a response. Guess what? That's omni-channel presence, because you're going to have a certain amount of sellers that's going to respond to text messages. You're going to have a certain amount that respond to the ringless voicemails. You have a certain amount that will check their mailbox every single day. And you will have some that's going to pick up the phone whenever you cold call them. So it's always important to make sure to use as much forms of marketing as you can. And my recommendation is starting out with the cheapest one. The number one software that I would use to send ringless voicemails and text messages to sellers is REI Reply. And just to let you know, all the softwares that I'm mentioning will be linked below, so just feel free to check it out. And REI Reply is $49.99 per month. To send a text messages is only 0.0075 cents. To send a ringless voicemail is 0.0085 cents. And I even believe now that they have a multi-line dollar. I'm not really sure. I don't use it. I use Call Tools, which I'm going to mention a little bit later for my multi-line dollar. But it can actually be an all-in-one system for just $49.99. And once you speak with the seller and they say that they are interested in selling, but not right now, you can create a separate campaign inside of REI Reply to follow up with them. You can create quick replies or auto replies that go out 3 minutes after the auto reply message is triggered. And that's good for someone that's working a 9 to 5. So definitely feel free to check out REI Reply, and I'll do a detailed video on how to set it up later on in the future if that's something that you'll be interested in. And now the next software that you will need in your business that I mentioned before is Call Tools. Call Tools is $99 per month, and it will allow you to make multiple calls to multiple sellers instead of hand dialing these sellers one by one. So you don't think that'll get you to your first deal in 30, 60 to 90 days? I think it will. So make sure you check Call Tools out as well too. They have detailed help guides and videos that will help you set it up. And I may do a live one day to help everyone set up their Call Tools as well too, so they can see how you can actually use it and make up to 10 calls at one time and talk to as many sellers as you possibly can, which is the most efficient way to make calls to sellers. Now, once you spend that part of your budget in softwares and using the omni-channel marketing presence, of course, you're gonna have leads coming in. You're gonna have some sellers that's saying, yes, I wanna sell, no, I don't wanna sell. You have the wrong number. Maybe I'll sell in a couple of months. And guess what? The ones that say, yes, I want to sell, and that you actually make an offer to, they don't need to be in any of your marketing softwares. I will recommend them being in a separate software that you can manage outside of what you use for marketing. Now, this platform that I'm going to mention is a CRM, which is a customer relationship management tool, and it's called Podio. Podio is free. You can set reminders that you need to reach out to whatever your seller name is on September the 8th, 2023, because they're gonna want to sell around that time. You can leave notes inside of there, and that'll be your way that you make sure that none of your leads are left behind. You need this because if you don't have it, you can be marketing to sellers and not following up. And then another wholesaler may come in and follow up with the seller the way they're supposed to. And guess what? Whenever they're ready, the seller is going to reach out to them. If you're not reaching out to them on a regular basis, checking in and seeing how things are going with the process of them selling their property. So make sure you set up a Podio, because that's where you're going to actually get most of your deals. I know you probably heard people say the deals are in the follow-up, and it's definitely true. So with the info that I just gave you, you can get your first deal in 30, 60 to 90 days and make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And guess what? Like I said before, your pipeline is going to be filled over time. And the more sellers that you have in your pipeline and the more sellers that you have to follow up with, the more deals you will begin to close. You see that you'll be closing one deal every other month. Then you start seeing that you'll close one deal every month. Then you'll see that you start closing 1 to 3 deals every month. And then it'll just continually increase, and you will start scaling your business and adding team members to your team so you can fire yourself from certain positions and start focusing on working on your business and not in it. Now, if this video wasn't particularly right for you because you don't have a budget currently, please feel free to check out my video here, and it'll show you how you can actually get started wholesaling with no money out of pocket. I'll see you next time.